Alright, it is time to learn how to increase and decrease using single crochet. And now I'm going to work off of the assumption that you already know how to use the single crochet stitch, and if you don't, it's probably wisest to leave this video and then go find the videos on my channel that teach how to, the one video that teaches how to do the single crochet stitch, and then you'll be prepared to do this. But if you're on any kind of a project and you're told to decrease or increase and you're using the single crochet stitch and you just don't know how to do that, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to show you how to do this. So we've got just a row of I made about 8 chains down here, and then I worked a row of single crochets in them. So we've got just an example project here to work from, and so I'm going to teach you first how to increase, and this is really simple. It's not near as complicated as a lot of people probably think it would be. And so we're going to identify the first stitch and do a regular single crochet stitch in it, just like we were doing a regular row. But the way to increase, if the instructions of your project tell you to increase in this stitch for the next 2 stitches or something, what you do is you treat one stitch like it's 2 stitches and you do 2 single crochet stitches in it, and that just doubles the amount of single crochets if you do that all across. Now, different patterns will tell you how many stitches to do the increase stitch in, but that's exactly what the increase stitch is. So if we were to work across this with the increase stitch, what it would mean doing is just putting a single crochet stitch in every hole that we pass. So I'm going to work down to the end of the row, and then we'll turn around and do the decrease stitch. Okay, so we just got to the end of this row that we did of increasing the entire way, and as you can see, it got a lot bigger. There's basically twice the stitches, and that increase stitch sounds fancy, but honestly you just learned that all it was putting 2 single crochets into every stitch to double the amount. So if we want to go back across working the increase stitch, this is what you'll do. You'll find your first stitch and go into it just like any other stitch. You yarn over and pull through, but then instead of completing the single crochet, you just move on to the next one, ignoring the back one. Yarn over and pull through like a regular single crochet stitch, and now you've got 3 on your hook. So to get rid of these 3 loops, you treat it just like the end of a regular single crochet. You yarn over and pull through everything that's on your hook. So you basically just turn 2 stitches into 1. So we're going to do that with the next one. You go in and come out after yarning over, and you act like you're done with that stitch. Moving on to the next one, you go through, yarn over, and then you pull through all 3. So if I was to work this stitch all the way across the row that we've got here, we would end up with a much smaller row than we just created for ourselves by increasing. So that is the way to decrease. Okay, now we're down here at the very end of our row, and this project is buckling a little bit funny because we increased so much and now we decreased so much, but knowing these stitches will allow you to do so many different things with projects. And now we're down at the end. I'm going to show you one last time how to do this stitch. You go in like it's any other single crochet stitch, and then you pull back through, and then ignoring this one and moving on, we're going to see if we can get into our last stitch here. Thought it was a little tricky. We're going to yarn over, pull back through. It's very crammed always at the end, but that's okay. And then we're going to pull through all 3. So chaining 1 and turning around, what we just did was we increased by double and then we decreased by half, and so that's the way to use the increase and decrease stitches with single crochet.